This song is for you, not just for the version of you that smiles, but for the one that survives, the one that keeps going even when no one's watching. Love isn't always loud. It's often quiet, steady, and brave. It shows up in the pauses, in the memories, and the moments that shape us without asking permission. Tonight, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to remind you that your heart matters, your emotions are valid, and your story is still unfolding. So take a breath. Let this song meet you where you are. This is for you. And it doesn't rush to explain itself because some things don't need explanation to be true. It's not trying to be dramatic or loud. It doesn't need a spotlight. It just sits with you the way real love does, the way real emotion does, waiting until you're ready to listen. This song is for the parts of you that kept going when you didn't feel brave, for the moments when you stayed even though it would have been easier to leave, for the nights when your heart felt heavier than your body and you still showed up the next morning pretending you were fine. This song is for you because you're here, because you feel things deeply even when you don't talk about them, because you've loved in a world that doesn't always make it easy to love back. Love isn't always a grand gesture. Most of the time it's invisible. It's the decision to care again after disappointment. It's the choice to believe in someone when the evidence tells you not to. It's staying soft in a hard moment. It's forgiving yourself for not knowing better before you knew better. This song understands that and holds it gently without judgment. This song knows love doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like sitting with your own pain and not running from it. And if you've ever done that, if you've ever stayed present when it hurt, then this song already knows your name. This song is for the people who love quietly, the ones who don't announce it, who don't make speeches about it, who just show up, the ones who remember the small details, the ones who listen more than they speak, the ones who feel deeply but carry it gently. If you've ever loved someone in a way that didn't ask for applause, this song is standing right beside you. Because love isn't measured by how loudly it's expressed, but by how long it lasts when things get difficult and easy answers stop showing up. There's a kind of courage in allowing yourself to feel. Not everyone talks about that. We talk about strength like it's armor, like it's something rigid and unbreakable. But real strength is often flexible. It bends, it absorbs impact, it survives. Feeling things deeply doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. It means you're paying attention. It means you're alive. This song doesn't ask you to toughen up or shut down. It asks you to stay open even when that feels risky, especially when that feels risky. This song is for the moments you didn't think anyone noticed. The effort you put in, the love you gave without guarantees, the apologies you practiced but never said out loud, the feelings you swallowed because you didn't want to burden anyone. This song sees those moments. It doesn't judge them. It doesn't try to fix them. It just acknowledges them. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes being seen, even by a song, is enough to remind you that you matter. Love changes us, not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it slows us down. Sometimes it makes us more careful. Sometimes it makes us braver than we ever planned to be. Loving someone means allowing them to leave an imprint on you, knowing that you won't be the same afterward. And that's not a loss. That's proof that something real happened. This song isn't afraid of that truth. It doesn't pretend love is safe. It just says it's worth it. This song is for the people who've been broken open by love and still believe in it. The ones who didn't close their hearts even when it would have been understandable. The ones who learned how to love again, differently, more honestly, more gently. If you've ever had to rebuild yourself after giving your heart away, this song knows how long that takes. It respects the process. It doesn't rush you, it walks at your pace. There's a quiet dignity in choosing kindness when the world gives you reasons not to. In choosing compassion when you've been misunderstood. In choosing love when you've been hurt. This song carries that dignity. It doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't need you to be perfect or healed or certain. It just meets you where you are. And sometimes that's the most powerful thing love can do. This song is for the people who feel too much in a world that often feels too little. For the ones who notice the cracks in someone's voice. the ones who sense when something is wrong even when the smile looks convincing, the ones who carry other people's emotions without being asked. If you've ever been told you're too sensitive, this song disagrees. It thinks your sensitivity is a form of intelligence, a way of understanding the world that can't be taught. Love is not about possession, it's about presence. It's about being there fully without trying to control the outcome. This song understands that love doesn't guarantee permanence. It guarantees experience. It guarantees growth. It guarantees that for a moment, two lives touched in a meaningful way that matters. Even if it didn't last forever, even if it ended quietly, even if it still hurts sometimes. This song is for the nights you replayed conversations in your head, wondering if you said the wrong thing, wondering if you could have loved better, wondering if you were enough. It's for the mornings you woke up carrying that weight and still chose to be kind. It's for the versions of you that didn't give up on love, even when love didn't give you clear answers or the certainty you were hoping to find waiting on the other side of all that effort. There's a humility in admitting you care, in saying this matters to me, in letting yourself be moved by someone else's existence. This song honors that humility. It doesn't treat it like a flaw, it treats it like a quiet superpower, because caring means you're connected. It means you're not numb. It means you're still capable of hope. This song is for the love that wasn't perfect but was real, the love that taught you something, the love that challenged you, the love that made you confront parts of yourself you hadn't looked at before. Not every love story is meant to last forever, but every love story leaves a mark. This song doesn't rank them or compare them, it just acknowledges that they mattered. Sometimes love is simply choosing to stay human, to not turn bitter, to not harden, to not let disappointment turn into cruelty. This song respects that choice and understands how difficult it truly is. This song is for you if you've ever loved someone without knowing how it would end. If you've ever taken that risk. If you've ever said yes to vulnerability. If you've ever let someone see you as you are. That takes courage. More courage than most people realize. This song isn't here to congratulate you, it's here to sit with you, to remind you that your willingness to love is not wasted. Love doesn't always give us what we want, but it often gives us what we need: perspective, depth, empathy. This song understands that sometimes the lesson comes wrapped in loss, and sometimes it comes quietly, long after the moment has passed. It doesn't rush the understanding, it lets it arrive when you're ready. This song is for the people who stayed gentle, who didn't let the world turn them cold, who still believe that connection matters, that kindness matters, that love matters even when it's complicated and uncertain and asks more from you than you thought you had left to give. This song is for the love that stays when perfection leaves the room, for the kind of love that doesn't pretend everything is fine but chooses to remain anyway. Because real love isn't built on flawless moments. It's built on what happens after the mistakes, after the misunderstandings, after the silence stretches longer than expected. This song understands that love isn't about getting it right every time. It's about not walking away the first time it gets hard. We grow up thinking love is supposed to be smooth and effortless, like if it's real, it should just work. But the truth is, love asks something from us. It asks us to be patient when we want answers. It asks us to listen when we'd rather defend ourselves. It asks us to stay present when discomfort shows up uninvited. This song doesn't judge you for learning that the slow way. It knows no one teaches you how to love without hurting sometimes. Love lives in endurance. Not the kind that feels heavy or forced, but the quiet decision to keep showing up, to keep choosing someone even when the version of them in front of you isn't the one you fell for. Because people change, we all do. And loving someone means accepting that you're not loving a fixed idea, but a moving, breathing human being who's figuring things out in real time, just like you. This song is for the moments when love felt uncertain, when you wondered if you were doing enough or too much. When you questioned whether staying was strength or fear. Those questions don't mean you failed, they mean you cared. Love isn't the absence of doubt. It's the willingness to move forward even when certainty isn't guaranteed. There's a kind of honesty that only shows up in imperfect love, when masks fall away, when expectations soften, when you stop trying to be impressive and start trying to be real. This song values that honesty more than any polished version of affection, because perfection doesn't create connection. Vulnerability does. Love asks us to forgive not just other people, but ourselves. For the words we didn't say well, for the reactions that came from old wounds, for the moments we weren't our best selves. This song knows forgiveness isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's about choosing not to let what happened define everything that comes after. This song is for the love that learned how to breathe again after being disappointed, for the relationships that didn't break but bent, for the connections that survived, not because they were easy, but because both people were willing to grow. Growth doesn't look good in the moment. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It's full of pauses and recalibration. But it's real, and what we build through effort often lasts longer than what comes easily without asking anything of us. Love isn't proven in the highlight reel. It's proven in repetition, in consistency, in the small, unglamorous acts of care that don't get noticed right away. Checking in, waiting, trying again. This song respects that kind of love, the kind that doesn't demand recognition, only honesty. There's strength in admitting you don't have all the answers, in saying I'm still learning how to love you. This song believes that love isn't something you master, it's something you practice. And practice means mistakes are part of the process, not the end of it. This song is for the people who stayed when leaving would have been simpler, who chose conversation over avoidance, who chose understanding over being right. That choice costs something. It costs ego, it costs comfort, it costs the illusion of control, but it creates something deeper than certainty. It creates trust. And trust, once built through difficulty, is unlike anything else you'll ever hold. Love doesn't promise clarity. Sometimes it gives you questions instead. Sometimes it asks you to sit with uncertainty longer than you want to. This song doesn't rush that space. It understands that not everything resolves neatly, and that doesn't mean it wasn't worth feeling. There's a quiet respect in loving someone as they are, not as you wish they would be, in letting go of the fantasy version and embracing the real one. This song honors that shift because it takes maturity to release expectations and meet someone where they stand. Love isn't about fixing each other, it's about witnessing each other, about standing close while the other person does their own work. This song knows that trying to save someone can sometimes push them further away, and learning when to step back is as important as knowing when to lean in. Both require a kind of wisdom that only arrives after you've gotten it wrong enough times to finally understand. This song is for the love that survived awkward conversations, the ones where words stumbled, where feelings didn't come out right the first time, where silence said more than language could. Those moments aren't failures. They're evidence that something meaningful was at stake. Endurance doesn't mean ignoring pain, it means acknowledging it without letting it turn into resentment. This song understands how difficult that balance is, how easy it is to keep score, how tempting it is to protect yourself by closing off, and it quietly respects every time you chose openness instead. Love teaches us humility. It reminds us that we don't always see the full picture, that our perspective is limited, that listening can be more powerful than speaking. This song is for the love that didn't give up at the first sign of imperfection, the love that allowed room for growth, the love that said we're not there yet, but we're trying, and trying matters more than pretending everything is already fine. This song is for the emotions you were told to hide, the ones you learned to fold neatly and place somewhere deep inside so you could function, so you could belong, so you wouldn't be called too much or too intense or too sensitive. This song doesn't ask you to explain those emotions or justify them. It simply acknowledges that they exist for a reason. Because feeling deeply is not a flaw. It's a response to being alive in a world that moves fast and rarely stops to notice what it's doing to us. We're often taught that strength means control, that being strong means not reacting, not breaking, not letting anything show. But real strength doesn't come from suppression, it comes from awareness, from knowing what you feel and choosing how to move with it instead of pretending it isn't there. This song understands that emotions don't make you unreliable or fragile. They make you informed and alive and honest in a way that cannot be faked. This song is for the people who feel everything all at once: joy and fear, love and doubt, hope and grief, sometimes in the same moment. That doesn't mean you're confused, it means you're paying attention. Life isn't simple, and neither are the emotions that come with it. This song doesn't try to simplify them, it lets them coexist. It knows you can be grateful and exhausted at the same time, confident and unsure, strong and tired. None of that cancels the other out. Emotions are often treated like obstacles and like something to get past so you can move on with your life. But emotions are part of the movement. They're not delays, they're signals, they're information. And this song respects that. It doesn't rush you through what you feel. It doesn't tell you to get over it or move on or be positive. It gives you permission to stay with it long enough to actually understand it and let it mean something. This song is for the moments when your feelings surprised you, when you reacted more strongly than you expected, when something small opened a door to something much bigger. That doesn't mean you're unstable. It means there's history there, memory, meaning. Emotions don't come out of nowhere. They're connected to experiences, to patterns, to things that mattered before you had words for them. We live in a world that praises logic and efficiency, but forgets that humans aren't machines. We don't process life in straight lines. We feel first, then we understand later. This song doesn't shame that order, it accepts it, because emotions often arrive before clarity. They show up to get your attention, not to ruin your plans. This song is for the people who were told to calm down when they were actually trying to be heard, for the ones who learned to doubt their own emotional responses because someone else found them inconvenient. This song believes you. It trusts your inner experience. It knows that emotions aren't problems to be solved, but messages to be listened to. There's a difference between being overwhelmed by emotion and being guided by it. This song isn't asking you to drown in your feelings. It's asking you to stop fighting them, to let them move through you without turning them into shame. Emotions pass more easily when they're acknowledged, when they're allowed space instead of resistance. This song is for the quiet emotions too, the ones that don't explode but linger. The subtle sadness, the low-level anxiety, the soft longing you can't quite name. Just because an emotion isn't dramatic doesn't mean it isn't real. This song notices the subtle shifts, the internal weather changes that no one else sees. Feeling deeply often means caring deeply, and caring deeply means risking disappointment. This song knows that. It knows how tempting it is to numb yourself just to avoid getting hurt again. But it also knows what numbness costs. It costs connection, it costs meaning, it costs the ability to be moved by something beautiful. This song doesn't pressure you to choose feeling, it just reminds you what you gain when you do. This song is for the people who feel first and explain later, who sense the truth of a moment before they can articulate it. That's not irrational, that's intuition shaped by experience. Emotions are not the opposite of intelligence, they're another form of it, a language that speaks faster than thought. There's courage in admitting you're affected by things, in saying this matters to me, in letting something reach you. This song respects that courage. It knows how vulnerable it feels to care in a world that often rewards detachment. It knows how risky it is to stay emotionally available when experience has given you every reason to close yourself off and stop letting things in entirely. This song is for the times you cried without fully knowing why, for the times laughter caught you off guard, for the moments when a song, a memory, a look, or a sentence hit you harder than expected. Those reactions aren't random. They're evidence of a rich inner life, of a heart that's engaged with the world instead of armored against it. Emotions don't always make sense right away. Sometimes understanding comes later, sometimes much later. This song doesn't demand immediate clarity. It's comfortable with not knowing yet. It trusts that insight arrives in its own time after the feeling has done its work and settled into something you can finally name. This song is for the people who were told they were too emotional and decided to keep feeling anyway. Who didn't trade sensitivity for approval? Who didn't harden just to fit in? That choice takes strength, quiet strength, the kind that doesn't announce itself but shows up every single day without fail. Feeling deeply means you'll feel pain deeply too. This song doesn't deny that. It doesn't promise protection. It just suggests that the depth of pain often matches the depth of meaning, that what hurts deeply usually mattered deeply first. This song is for the emotional honesty you practice with yourself when no one else is around. The moments you admit the truth internally, even if you're not ready to say it out loud. That honesty is the foundation of growth, of healing, of real connection. Emotions aren't weaknesses to overcome. They're signals of alignment or misalignment. They tell you when something fits and when it doesn't. This song encourages you to listen instead of override, to respond instead of suppress. This song is for the people who chose not to become numb, who stayed open even when it would have been easier not to, who accepted that feeling deeply is part of being fully human. And that being fully human means being touched, changed, affected, and moved by love, by loss, by hope, by the simple fact of existing in a world that is imperfect and beautiful and uncertain all at once, and still choosing to feel it all completely, without apology, without shame, without ever wishing you were built differently than you are.